In this video, I'm going to be introducing you to our final project in this class, which is going to be your video essay. I'm going to be going over the assignment as well as the writing process and giving you everything that you need to know in order to succeed with this assignment. The requirements for this assignment are pretty simple. One, you must have a foundational text and a related research topic, and I'll go over both of those shortly. Second, you're going to need 5 paragraphs minimum, and you're going to want to include text, images, and narration throughout the entire video. The writing process for this video essay is going to be 6 parts. First, you're going to choose your foundational text, then brainstorm, then you're going to choose your research topic and come up with a general plan, then you're going to do your outline, then a script or storyboard, and finally you're going to make the video. As you go through each of the parts, I'm going to be leaving feedback so that you're going to know whether or not you're on the right track. Today in this video, I'm going to be going over all 6 parts so that you know what's coming up. However, remember that you're not expected to get this all done right now. This is going to be accomplished over a couple weeks, and as I said, I will be giving you feedback throughout so that you'll know if there's any issues or things that you need to revise. Step 1 will be choosing your foundational text. So let's talk about what the foundational text is. So for this essay, you're going to be choosing some sort of text, whether that's an essay, an article, a book, a movie, a television show, song or album, or cultural event as your foundational text. Later on, you're going to be choosing a research topic related to that, but for now, you're just going to be choosing the text that you're interested in. I always recommend choosing something that you personally find interesting and that has a worthwhile theme or message that you want to explore more. It doesn't have to be an award-winning movie or television show, it just needs to matter to you and be sending a message that is worth talking about. Last semester, I had my students come up with a list of different foundational texts, so I'm going to put that on the screen right now just so that you can kind of see all the different options that you have. You don't have to choose anything from this list, although if you see something that interests you, you're welcome to choose any of these. But as you can see, you can really write about anything that you're interested in. Step 2 will be to brainstorm. So for this step, you're going to be downloading a Google Doc that you're going to be filling out. And there are 3 different questions that you're going to be answering. And I recommend spending 5 minutes on each question and just jotting down as much information as comes to mind. Once you're done filling this out, you should have a lot of different ideas in terms of things that you might want to talk about. And that's going to come in handy when you actually end up choosing your research topic. One thing you're going to notice is in the final question, there's a link to different literary criticisms that you can consider when you're looking at your own topic. So I want to just go over some of those and hopefully it gives you some ideas. And if not, that's fine, but I figured I would mention it. So some common critical lenses that I've seen my students use very effectively are listed here. So starting with biographical criticism, this is looking at the creator of the text. So looking at how their life or their experiences impacted what they created. Next is historical criticism, which is looking at the historical context of when the text was made and what it was saying about what was happening at the time. The next critical lens to consider is sociological or Marxist criticism, and that's going to be looking at group dynamics, power dynamics, economic dynamics, and this can be really helpful if you're doing any sort of dystopian or kind of futuristic text that you want to look at. And then you can also consider feminist or gender criticism. So what is a text saying about gender, about sexuality, or any of those related things? And then finally, you can consider psychological or psychoanalytic criticism. So if you've ever taken a psychology class and been really interested in some of the terms and ideas that you've learned about, this could be a really fun way to incorporate that into your text. So basically, you are going to psychoanalyze the characters or the things that are happening in the text and talk about what it means in the broader lens. As I mentioned before, all of these critical lenses are completely optional. You do not need to consider them when you're writing your own video essay. They're just things to consider if you're looking for a research topic or looking for a way to discuss your text. And if any of these are something that appeals to you, you're welcome to use them. After you're done brainstorming, the next step will be to choose your research topic. For this assignment, you're going to be filling out another Google Doc. And as you see here, there is a list of instructions, which you're welcome to go over. And then you're going to be filling out some different information about your video. So I'm going to go over that in a second. Note that you are going to be writing a 5-paragraph essay, which means you're going to have 3 body paragraphs. And there is also space for an optional 4th body paragraph if that's something that you choose to want. So let's go over the instructions for that assignment. So first, you're going to write down the foundational text you plan to use for your essay. You've already done this in previous steps, you're just going to repeat it here. And then 2, you're going to decide on the research topic that you will be focusing on for your video essay. So look at your brainstorming notes, see if anything, pops out to you or things that you are interested in researching and learning more about related to your text. Once you've chosen your research topic, then you're going to consider 3 to 4 points that you would like to discuss in your essay. So these are going to end up being your body paragraphs, and they can be changed between now and you actually starting your essay, but it's a good idea to have a general sense of what you want to talk about. Once you are done, you are going to submit what you have. I'm going to take a look. I will leave any feedback, give any recommendations if I want you to change anything, and then you should be good from there. And this is what the document looks like. As you can see, you're going to be filling in your foundational text, your research topic, your 3 to 4 different topics that you want to talk about in your body paragraphs, and that's it. And then I'll take a look and give feedback on that. So it's really important at this point in the writing process that you are not working ahead. So always wait for feedback before you start working on the next essay prep assignment. Otherwise, you run the risk of repeating the same mistakes rather than having the time to revise before you get started on the next part. So the next step will be your outline. This outline is going to be really similar to what we've done previously. So you're going to start with your introduction, you'll have your hook, introduce and give a short summary of your text, you'll introduce your research topic, and then you'll have your thesis. Next, you're going to plan out your 3 to 4 body paragraphs. You're going to tell me the purpose of the paragraph, which is basically your topic sentence, and then your 2 support that will go with each paragraph. These can either come from textual analysis of your foundational text or from outside research. And then finally, you're going to end with your conclusion, and then you're going to list any sources that you are citing within your outline. As you're working on your outline, there's a couple things to keep in mind. So remember that this is going to be a minimum of 5 paragraphs with an optional 6th, which would be if you had a 4th body paragraph. All body paragraphs must have a clear purpose and have at least 2 support. Support can be a close analysis or research-based, and there must be at least 4 research articles cited in your video. You may have more than that, but you want to at least have 4 minimum. Just like with the general plan, make sure that once you submit this, you wait for feedback before you start on the next part, which is going to be your script. So once you get done with your outline and have feedback on that, you are good to get started on your script or storyboard. This is going to be your final step before you start filming. While your outline may have a lot of video information already written out, you will still need to go through and add any needed detail, explanation, discussion, and analysis. So that's what we're going to be focusing on for the script or storyboard. As you work on your script, you want to remember that this is a visual media and it's not limited to just words. You should plan to use images, video clips, sounds, and design. Instead of just describing a scene, you want to show an image or a clip of that scene. Instead of just reading off research, you can include a screenshot of the article with the quoted sections underlined. Make sure also that you plan narration throughout the entire video and that you script it out. So a couple notes for those of you that are new to video making and have only made videos for this class. You can definitely continue to use Adobe Spark. You don't need to worry about getting any other type of video editing software. And as you're planning it, I suggest using the storyboard template rather than the script because it's a lot easier when you're planning an Adobe Spark video. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So this is what the storyboard looks like. So as you can see, it's just broken up into different slides, which is perfect if you're using Adobe Spark. You would put the slide number, any text that's going to be on screen, as well as the image that's going to be on screen. And then underneath is where you're going to plan out your narration. So what you're going to record over top the images. As you're working on your storyboard, keep in mind that you're not going to be putting your entire paragraph into one slide. You're going to be breaking up each paragraph into multiple slides. The easiest thing to do is to use the sections of your outline as a starting point, and feel free to merge or split as needed. So to give you an example, this would be a breakdown of the introduction in different slides. So here I have an introduction that's broken up into 4 different slides. The first would be the hook, the second would be introducing the foundational text, the third would be introducing the research topic, and then the fourth would be your thesis. These are all the same paragraph, but you're going to break it up into different slides. So some general recommendations that I have for you guys is 1, to consider breaking up your video into parts using title cards in between each of your paragraphs. This is a really good way to organize your video and to make it very clear when you're switching between topics. When you're introducing research, you need to visually represent this. So this could be done via text by putting the quotes into text, or to visually represent it, you can also use a screenshot of the article. Finally, to make it easier for me to grade, make sure that as you're working on your slides that you highlight any research quotes that are in your script. That way I know where they are and I'm not having to search for them. So this is an example from a student from a previous semester. So what they did is they found a bunch of video clips that they wanted to use as the images as they went through their different topics. And then you can see here that when they got to their research, they included screenshots of that research, again, to create that visual element. And they did a really good job of finding lots of interesting visuals and clips that they used in their video. Keep in mind that you are going to be including a works cited page at the end of your video essay. So this can be just its own slide at the end of the video, or you can put it into the description box once you upload it onto YouTube. If you're using Adobe Spark, remember that each slide is only 30 seconds. So if your narration is getting a bit long, the easiest thing to do is just duplicate the slide and to keep going. So don't worry about trying to put it all into one 30-second slide. Once again, this is a reminder that this is a visual media, so make sure that you're keeping the video interesting and engaging. Use images, use video, use narration, but yeah, make sure that you're taking advantage of this as a visual media and not just making a PowerPoint presentation. When you're all done with your storyboard and script, you will submit and wait for approval. I'm going to go through, I'll grade it, give you any feedback, and then once you are approved, you are good to start making your final video. So the final step in this writing process will be submitting your video essay. The requirements for the final video essay is that it must have a works cited page. That can be its own slide or it can be in the description of the YouTube video. All sources must be cited by mentioning the name of the author or by showing the name of the author on screen. So don't just quote it without mentioning the name of the author. It needs to be either there visually or it needs to be mentioned verbally. Once you're done your video, you are going to be uploading it onto YouTube to allow for closed captions. Make sure that once it's uploaded, you embed the video when you submit it. And there are tutorials on how to do all of this in the Important Semester Information module. Now that I've gone over all of that, it's time to get started actually planning this essay. So don't get overwhelmed with all of the stuff that's coming up. Just focus on one step at a time. So first, we're going to start by choosing your foundational text, and we're going to go from there.